Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Outback Gamer, and this is my feature review on Final Fantasy XIV Online. I've only been playing this game for about 3 days, and I'm just going to talk about my progress and how I felt about this game. Overall though, I'm just going to straight up and say it's really good. I'm actually enjoying this game. So, we're going to start with the character creation. The character creation in this game is so in-depth. It's got so many different hairs that you can pick from. You can favorite your hairs in model outfits. You can go through, you can do every little part of your body in shape. Now, the graphics aren't amazing considering how old this game is. However, that said, the customization definitely deserves a good round of applause for working so hard. You can also save these presets for your next character or other characters, or use them for your retainers. Here we're having a quick look at the different kind of classes you can pick. There is many DPS classes as well as healing and tank roles. There's Disciples of Magic and Disciples of War, depending on if you want to be physical or aggressive.
Here. Feel.
Must be what a high-level Arcanist looks like. Now we all know that was a good guy.
The cutscenes in this game are quite good, intensive, and they do take a while. I will mention this a bit more in depth in a little while, but we're just about to go into another talking cutscene.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, amidst the roiling waves of the Lotama Sea, lies the maritime city-state of Limsa Lominsa. To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer. Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Lim Lane. What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
Final Fantasy XIV.
So, we're going to go over the good points and bad points of this game. As a new character, you can get pretty bored. Most MMOs dump you out into a combat field where you're fighting mobs or doing something important for your faction. This one will dump you out into the capital cities of your choosing of your class. Depending on your class, you'll start in different capital cities, which is what confused me a little bit, because when I played before, I played as Gladiator and I arrived by a wagon in a different town. This one was actually a lot easier to navigate though than the Gladiators Coliseum, in my opinion, like insanely easier. There is also a way better one, which is like the Conjurer's starting place. Is the Forest is probably the easiest of the three to learn. So you spend most of your first few hours of gameplay probably running around your capital city and just learning how to play, getting quests, turning them in, getting quick, easy levels. These crystals here that you're seeing, you click on them, you attune to them, and you use them for transportation around the world. They're like innkeepers in WoW, or the equivalent in any other game, where you can teleport to them for a small nominal fee. It's very useful though. It's how they progress and transfer around. Now, there's also little crystals you can tune to inside the cities, so you can go to the trading districts a little bit faster as well once you're inside the districts. Now, this is a quick look at the HUD layout. It's so intensive. I really enjoyed that. I've added more bars as I played, obviously, but it was a long time wandering around this town. There's a little crystal that you can click on to attune to the different areas. Now, when you get to high enough level, you can actually, this is something that's definitely a good point about this game. When you get to a high enough level, you can actually attune to all the different guilds and jobs in the game. So when you do that, you literally pick up all the jobs at level 1. It's great, it's fantastic. You can literally learn every class on one character instead of having to make multiple characters. That's probably one of the greatest points about this game. I got really bored and eventually ended up just traveling out to try out some combat, and it's great. Like, pretty combat. Very the Final Fantasy we know and love. Once you start casting spells, it just feels amazing. Good mix of graphics with pretty good assumption on the skill levels. Oh yeah, and the mobs are just fantastic. Like, I really love the gobblers, or what are those big guys were in every area sort of has a big thing. This is me playing around with my companions. I have a few from all the collector's editions, because over the years I've been buying all the collector's editions because I really like this game. I just never got a chance to play it until recently, and I got really into it. Out of a whim, I picked an Arcanist because I was assuming they would be the most caster, but they're very much like a warlock, and that surprised me. So I thought I was picking a mage, but I picked more of a warlock sort of pet character class. My friend started playing after me, and he also made the same assumption and picked Arcanist as well. But this actually wasn't such a big deal because I do intend to take probably Dancer, Gunbreaker, and Machinist later on. You can't access those until 50 though, those classes, so I'm hanging out for that. This is something I wanted to talk about real quick. It's the different weather in the game. It's amazing. Most MMOs don't bother with the whole weather cycles, but this one actually has raining, storming weather, sunshine weather, thunderstorms. It's rather nice. It really is. So I had to travel long and far by foot to go find some of the mobs that I needed to kill. Learning the map was a bit of a difficulty. It's definitely WoW without the quest helper idea, which is like making everything so easy to know where you're running to, like putting little dots on the line. You've got to look, you've got to read, you've got to actually pay attention to the map and learn it to progress your way around, which is fine. I don't mind that. Again, very pretty combat. So what I'm going to do at level 50, I'm probably going to, well, whichever level the Dancer unlocks, I'm probably going to try out the Dancer. I tried out the Archer for a little bit when I was going to go play with my friend, but then I realized that at 30, you actually split off and you get a healer subtype and a DPS subtype called the Scholar is the healer and the DPS subtype is the Summoner. We'll talk about that more towards the end of the video because I finally unlocked it yesterday. There's some really charming quests like these ones here where you go around and you take the ticks and fleas off creatures and that. I really enjoyed that at the farm. Once I left the city, I was actually far more engaged with the game. So if I have anything to say, just push through that starting town monotonous sort of stuff and get out into the field and start enjoying yourself. And the quests become a lot more interesting and a lot more fun and entertaining once you finally leave the city. I do really love all the mobs and the graphics of this game. It's quite charming. The only other thing I want to mention too is that you don't get your mount until you progress far enough in the storyline. So even though level 20 is when you can get a mount, unless you push the storyline along far enough, you won't unlock dungeons and you won't unlock your mount, because your mount comes from a quest, which we'll mention later. So this is something that a really cool little mechanic they got in the game called Fates. Fates are like little world event sort of things you can join in on, and they pay you out an experience based on how much you do. This was the first dungeon I unlocked. It's probably Pirates was what the title was called. And we had to come in here and kill some bad guys that were plaguing our region. And I have to say, dungeoning is a 4-man group, 1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS, and it works, it really works. I'm not really sure about the tanking yet. I'm going to find out about that when I run up my gunbreaker. I'm very interested. Man, gunblades. Everyone loves gunblades. It's going to be so great. I haven't actually encountered a single toxic person in raiding yet. In fact, I've come across people that are of different languages, and I can't understand them. They couldn't understand me, but I went AFK because I had to go check on something, and I came back and I lost the party, and he actually came back and found me without even knowing. We couldn't talk to each other. He just came and found me and led me along. I was like, yes, you rock, buddy. So shout out to that guy. And also shout out to Booten for giving this game a go. I know it's hard to try a new MMO when there's so many high line ones out there like World of Warcraft and things to try. It makes it really difficult to make those decisions whether you're going to try another one. The boss fight themselves seal off after 15 seconds after engaged, so that's something to remind you to make sure you follow the party around, don't stay too far away from them. The loot works on a need and greed system. So when you down a boss, you'll get an option to need or greed the items, so have a bit of a look at them. One of the last dungeons I did, I got like a song ballad thing. I don't know how rare that is, but I just passed on it because I assumed the other guys were running it for that item because everyone needed it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm a new player. I'll just pass on that. It's fine. So this is a boss fight here. They're quite entertaining. This one actually was a very fast, quick dungeon that was really enjoyable. I have to definitely say that. Upgrades are few and far between when you're playing, so definitely hop on anything you see that's an upgrade for your class. I didn't change my gear out too often. We're going to talk a little bit about what else I didn't like about the game is how long each cutscene was, and that the cutscenes were generally always text-based. Now, that said, that's not much of a problem. I'm one of those guys who don't read the quests anyway. I just click through them. I'm like, click, 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 click. So, but just so you know, they don't talk very often. When they do talk, those cutscenes are amazing. Like my friend said, the first cutscene that came in where he talked during the game, he wished it was like an hour earlier and he would have got hooked immediately. But yeah, those really inactive, great cutscenes where they talk and have a lot of stuff going on, they don't happen until you progress the storyline. So just so you know, a lot of this seems boring and plain, but you do get wrapped up in it eventually. It's definitely a wind-up game, not a one that you can immediately love. But I'm definitely the kind of person who skips a lot of dialogue and then I just look on the right and go, okay, it wants me to go over there, and then I click the blue text and it shows up where it is on the map, and then I make my way to it. That is literally the only way I play. So this is the end of the dungeon. This is the last boss. Most people know what they're doing. They smash through content so fast. It's crazy. But who cares? Just like WoW and other MMOs too, you can play in a dungeon at a synced level. Same thing with events, so you can play with your friends. So you can join them and you can always join them. The storyline will eventually lead you progressively along to every single area in the map. So you'll visit new towns, new cities, which is great, no problem. I love a storyline that actually opens up the map as you play. It's definitely great. I felt that the progression was really nice. In the storylines, like as you can see there, you will get these things which are like instance little dungeon sort of things you can do, but you can't do them with friends. You can only do these on your own. And some of them are pretty challenging. I had to repeat a few of them. When I leveled up high enough, I just smashed storyline though so I can unlock my mount. And I was like level, I don't know, 26 or something by the time I finally unlocked my mount. And I didn't know that unlocking your mount, so the really cool feature in this too is that your mount can become another character who adventures with you, and he can be a tank, a healer, or a DPS depending on the skills that you pick. So I didn't know that you had to go back at level 30 to pick up a random quest in South South Shroud, and it's in a little place I didn't go to, which is on the bottom one's called Tranquil or something. You pick up that quest and it turns your mount into a companion that then can fight, heal, or tank for you. And then your mount can then level up as well, and you start picking his abilities, which is really good. Now, I know I keep referencing WoW here, but it is literally the go-to game for MMOs, so it's so easy to mention. When you pass away in this game, you'll have an option to wait or return. Return takes you back to the last crystal that you set as your home, which is like returning to the inn in World of Warcraft, which is no problem because it's better than res sickness. I was talking to my friend about it and I was like, oh yeah, but I like to like run to my corpse sometimes and resurrect near it. And then he said to me, yeah, but what about res sickness? And I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's like the biggest pain in the butt ever is res sickness, right? Like 10 minutes where you can't do anything pretty much. So I'd much rather run back based on this. And when you unlock flying mounts in this game, you can pretty much fly everywhere, so I'm sure it's going to make traveling not even a point or a problem. All the main characters in this game are very gripping. You fall in love with each one's charming little facade. Even the faction leaders are pretty good as well. The faction lead, any faction leader or companion generally has a talking dialogue, so make sure you watch those cutscenes when they pop up. They're rare and few between. You do find out eventually that your character is special because it possesses this thing called the Echo, which allows you to talk to like a life crystal. I'm not really sure if all this stuff is correct. I've just skimmed through it, obviously. Like I said, I'm definitely that kind of guy who just skims through a lot of this content. But you find out that you join a companion group called the Scions of the Desert, I think they were called. And they've all got the Echo, and they're like your basically NPC party for the storyline. And main Final Fantasy characters like Sid and that are definitely out there. So what we're doing here is we're doing another one of those storyline events, which will then open up into a trial. And I can't wait to talk to you about trials because I'm actually sort of excited about that. The other good points that this game has is the leveling is quite fast. Like, I was leveling far above what I was expecting to level to. And I have to say that overall, it's nice to play an MMO that isn't what we're used to, but at the same time is. It feels so normal to do what you do in it, but at the same time, it's a completely new game, completely new storyline, and completely new things that you're picking up and learning, which is great, right? Like, there's no point in that. No harm. So this is one of the things I'm very excited about. This is the trial system. So I feel trials will be a bit like really easy raids, or maybe they are the raiding system. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I've only done one and it was a free, and it was great. It looked fantastic. I definitely loved it. It was so good. The graphics in this trial were just amazing. I feel that hopefully this is like you actually have some trash packs or something in the future instead of just logging in and killing one boss, which is what this one was. This one might just been like a bit of a demo, hopefully. I do know, and I had to look up the system called the limit break system. Now, the limit break system is up on the top left of any dungeon that you're joining, which is fine, it's great. The idea behind the limit break system is that the gauge will fill up and then a character can initiate the limit break. Now, if you're a tank, it generally reduces damage on the party. If you're a healer, it generally does a heal. If you're a DPS, it generally does a big hit. But it has really cool graphics too. Like, the graphics of the limit break are amazing. Like, I was shocked when I found out how they worked and how they looked and stuff. I was just like, wow, I have so much to look forward to. Like, and it definitely, like, when you read up about how limit breaks work too, it will mention that some of the boss fights you get sent off to fight a mob on your own, and you have your own limit break bar, which is separate. So I really can't wait for that. That'll be amazing. So here we are, we beat Ifrit, and which is really good because don't get me wrong, eventually you actually get to tame Ifrit. Ifrit's like one of my favorite summoners, summon creatures, whatever you want to call them in the world. You go into another cutscene where you can deal with Ifrit's crystal. But I did really enjoy that. trial, and I'm looking forward to trying more in the future. So next you'll also select your grand company. Now grand companies are like free companies. Free companies are guilds, pretty much like in WoW. And the grand company is your PvP faction, more like ESO, where you pick one of 3 major city-states and I guess you PvP with them and things like that. I'm not really sure of the weighted advantages in each grand company, but I ended up selecting Serpents because I liked the starting area for the Conjurers. It was like the easiest starting area to get around in. But so you become a member of a free company, which is a guild of friends or like-minded people, and you become a member of a grand company, which gives you rewards while you're questing and gives you unlocks. I had to buy Chocobo insurance from them eventually when I got my mount. Following that, you'll also end up going in getting a retainer because you suddenly have enough rep. Now the retainers are really interesting. You choose their classes. I don't know how that affects them. You can build them again. You can change their hair, the looks. I just used my preset because I couldn't be bothered sitting there building a brand new one. But what I found out eventually with the retainers is that you can send them on adventures and they come back with rewards and a bit of XP, and I think they level you, one of the two. It's really interesting though. I've been sending mine out, so once every 24 hours I'll come back and they'll give you whatever rewards they get from their adventurers, which is great. I have 2 at the moment. That's the first 2 that you unlock. I just have to do a little bit of a focus on this mount. This mount is crazy. It's come easily for one of my collector's editions, but it's a fat Chocobo! It's a fat Chocobo! So this was me running around just teasing Booten my mounts when I got them unlocked. Because you got to show somebody and be happy about it, right? I apologize, Booten. So this was trying out the Archer. The Archer was pretty good. I leveled it up to 12, I think, before I decided that nah, I'll just wait till later. This is the cutscene of getting your mount for the first time, and it's quite cute. Like, Chocobos are definitely heartwarming things. They're probably the founding corner of this game in a lot of regards. I have to say, it was heartwarming to see the little guy come out and cheep, and later on you do some training with them and they dance and stuff, and when you get them out as a companion, it's so heartwarming. This is like one of the boss fights. This was actually, they actually killed it while I was away. They'd actually killed the boss in between cutscenes on me. Now, one of your pets you get looks like a little Eevee or a fox. It looks so cute. So this is me logging in. Now this is where we're up to today. As of this morning, we're level 36, nearly level 37. We're having a bit of a look around the room. I'm going to show you guys the Scholar and the Freet for the Summoner. The Scholar is the healer class now that I've unlocked. It was well worth unlocking though. Well worth unlocking. This is where you can do your transmog. So transmog system works by having an item at 100% durability and pretty much breaking it down into that admire, which is fine. I'm happy with that, no problem. When you're done with an item, most of the time you're going to break it down anyway, right? So the Freet looks amazing, and it had a really cool little quest to get it unlocked. I didn't manage to capture it because my recording software was messing up, but it looked so good. Oh god, and the fight was great. So you swap your stones around, and then you have 2 stones that swaps between them, and then you're now a Scholar, you're now a healer, and these are like little support pets for the Scholar. They're literally Tinkerbell fairies. There's nothing wrong with that. They look great. I really like the all the graphics of this game. It's just so charming, so charming. So I'll swap back, and I'll just show you guys real quick what it looks like to have the companion as well. And this is a bit of a quick look at the classes, what you can be eventually and what you can unlock, and a lot of it isn't on the start screen. So this is a bit of a look at the retainer, so you can have a look at how they work. You summon them, you check out what jobs they're on and what missions they're doing, and you can send them on new ones if you have enough of this coin currency. I'm not really sure how the coin currency works. I remember I used to know the first time I played, and I only got to level 20 the first time, so I'm well above where I was the first time. And I am definitely going to look forward to doing the grind towards near the end this time. So I'll also just show you what it looks like to have your Chocobo companion following you around. To do that, I'm going to have to leave the inn and probably teleport to a local area, but that'll be worth it because, well, mine has biting for one of the expansions, and Oh god, Chocobo's just so cute in general. Overall though, this game was quite a surprise. I'd say it needs 3 or 4 hours to really grow on you, which is a long time, I know, but it's well worth dumping a day or two and then making a decision on whether you like this game or not. Personally, it's one of the better MMOs I've ever played. It's well thought out, it's well functioned. It doesn't have all the little tweaks that World of Warcraft does, and from modding and additions. There's no deadly boss mods, there's no ability to tell what the DPS is doing and how much damage they're doing, there's no ability to tell how much the healing is doing. You literally have to look at the screen and go, oh crap, he is tanking, oh good, the health is going down. Which is like classic WoW, like really, really classic WoW, back before the mods took over. This is my companion, little Loki. He looks so cute. I've named him after my Galar. I'm so glad to have him following me around now and fighting with me. It was well worth doing the quest. I didn't actually get him until level 34, I think, or 33 or something. So I was so far behind. This is a quick look at what companion or what little minions I've got and what mounts I've got unlocked for you guys who are interested. And this is a quick look at the abilities and what you can do with your mount and what you can unlock, how the trees work, how the skill points work for the mounts, leveling up companion abilities. So, I hope you've enjoyed this look at Final Fantasy from the eyes of a newbie. Personally, I would recommend this game, and I have to say that it's well worth its time.